In today's video, we are going to fly the RSI solo, or at least we're going to see if it's possible to do so. Now, in the previous video, we've seen that players were flying the Idris solo, but is it also a viable possibility to do that with the Polaris? Well, that's what we're going to see. With the release of Start Season of 4.1.1, a new series of combat missions from Foxwell have been introduced. As players progress through the mission chain, the difficulty increases significantly. Eventually, it reaches a point where flying a light or even a medium fighter solo simply isn't viable anymore. Actually, even with a heavy fighter too. So that's the point I reached, and like many others, I began looking for an alternative. Instead of giving up or calling for backup, I decided to approach the problem from a different angle. What if I could solo these tougher missions by flying something bigger? Much bigger, actually. That's where the idea of taking out the RSI Polaris came to mind. With its recent upgrades, including the automatic defense point cannons that now engage enemy targets without manual input, it seemed like a viable solution. So, in this video, we're going to find out if the Polaris, a Corvette-class capital ship designed for a full crew, can actually handle high-tier missions on its own. Was it a brilliant idea or a complete disaster? Well, let's get started. So, the patrol missions in Star Citizen are generally divided into three main parts, each consisting of up to 4 sub-missions. These sub-missions can include a scanning task, an escort assignment, a combat engagement, or simply a short patrol around an asteroid. We began our run with a brief patrol near an asteroid base, but nothing significant happened here, so we quickly moved on to the next waypoint. The following sub-mission was a scanning task. Several areas needed to be scanned, each featuring a satellite. Some of these satellites were friendly, while others were hostile and had to be destroyed. The targets were spread out roughly 20 to 30 kilometers apart, and while it was possible to complete the entire task in the Polaris, I chose to use the F-8 fighter I had parked in the ship's hangar for most of the portion just to gain time between each of the different locations. It was just faster. Eventually, hostile forces arrived to avenge the destruction of their satellites, which brought us to the real test of the Polaris's capabilities. Thanks to the ship's defense cannons, I was able to quickly shred the attacking fighters. This allowed me to survive the encounter and move on to the final part of the mission. The final part of the mission would have been extremely challenging if I had attempted it in a fighter. 6 hostile ships were present, all either multi-crew fighters or transports. Among them were a couple of freelancers, an MSR, 2 vanguards, and a cutlass, and I couldn't quite recall what was the last ship because the point defense cannons of the Polaris quickly dispatched it before I had a chance to get a good look. For this phase, I decided to reinforce the ship's self-defense by taking control of one of the turrets. I didn't want to risk losing my fighter, so remaining within the safety of the Polaris's massive shields was the smartest choice. The battle seemed longer this time, as the opponents were much better armored and posed a greater threat. However, even with all 6 ships attacking simultaneously, they couldn't penetrate the Polaris's shields. Ultimately, the hostiles were eradicated, proving the ship's defensive capabilities to be quite formidable, even in solo hands. In the end, flying the RSI solo proved to be a surprisingly viable strategy for tackling difficult combat missions in Star Citizen 4.1.1. While the ship was designed for a full crew, its automatic point defense systems combined with strategic turrets use allowed me to survive and overcome waves of enemy fighters that would have been impossible to handle in a smaller ship alone. Of course, piloting such a large vessel solo comes with its challenges, including slower maneuverability and longer engagement times, but the defensive strength and firepower more than compensate for these drawbacks. For players facing tough solo combat missions, the Polaris offers a powerful alternative to traditional fighters, showing that sometimes bigger really is better. And that's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What's the biggest ship you have and when do you use it? Have you tried those combat missions from Foxwell? Let me know everything in the comment section down below. Don't forget we have a giveaway this month. I'm giving away a Misc Fortune. Subscribe and comment to any videos posted this month. 10 entries into the wheel of names like this. Automatic entries for Patreon and YouTube members. Shout out to Dr. Forbin, Shadow Rise, Dark Heart, Associates, Ducky to Ducker, and Zero Crusher. And I'll see you guys in the next one.